Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Welcome everyone. It's Monday, February 23rd, and this is episode 63. I remembered. This is actually my second time recording. I recorded yesterday, but had some issues. So I'm recording on Monday evening. Fortunately or unfortunately, we didn't have D&D tonight, so it means I'm home and I got to record, so it's pretty exciting. I'm back by the fireplace. As you can see, it's still pretty cold here, so we've got the fire going. Our apartment's pretty warm, but sometimes it's nice to just have that extra warmth. So I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all had a good week and have been getting lots of knitting done. I've certainly been getting lots of knitting done. Not on many things, but on few things. I've kind of just been focusing on one project, and then when that was done, moving on to the next project. And it makes for getting things done quickly. Luckily, they weren't huge things, so I didn't get bored. Plus, I needed to get them done, so that helped as motivating factors. All right, well, let's get into it, right? Below the Conch show, we still have the February knit along going, or the fix along, I should call it. And sorry, the back gate is really distracting me. So anything you fix, such as darn socks, or fix a hole in something, or maybe it's just, you had to rip back a whole bunch of rows to fix a problem that you noticed. Anything like that, and go ahead and post a picture in the finished fixes thread in the Ravelry group, which is Knitted Paradise Podcast. And if you're watching this on my webpage, which is pearlofthepacific.info, there is a link in one of the sidebars. I don't know which side it's on, but it's on the sidebar. There's a link to the podcast. To the podcast group on Ravelry. And otherwise, you can just search on Ravelry for Knitted Paradise Podcast and find it that way. And the other announcement that I have is that my cowl pattern is very, very, very close to being released. My test knitters have completed their cowls, and the pattern looks to be good to go. I just have to get some pictures of it, and it will be released this week, so that's really exciting. I'll show it to you a little later. And I will also be running a sale of my patterns later on this week, and I will explain why later. So look for that. All right, on the island, I have one thing. As I said, I've been slightly monogamous this week and just knitting on one thing at a time. And that's my sock design, and I can show you the bottom of the sock. And this is out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Show Stealer in the Poseidon colorway, and their Show Stealer base is their MCN base, and it's the same colorway as the hat and mitts that I designed. And it's just the bottom of a sock. There is something on the top of the sock, but I'm not ready to show that yet. And so it's a very simple sock. It's kind of a recipe of how I do socks. So it's got a nice rounded toe, which I like to do, and just a simple stitch pattern up the front. And then I do a bottom of the heel gusset and a short row gusseted heel, which I kind of sometimes call the deep pocket heel, because it creates, I like the short row heel, I like how it fits, but sometimes I just need a deeper pocket there and a little bit more room, so I call it the deep pocket heel. And so there will be instructions for that in the pattern, as well as how I knit my socks. So there is a stitch pattern on it, and which is very simple. I think it's simple. It's you'll see it later on. I have tons of yarn stuck to my elbow, sorry. But these are the socks, and they're coming along. I started them Saturday night, So they're pretty quick. And I've got my test enders all lined up. So thank you to those of you who volunteered. And I will be sending you the pattern very soon. It's mostly written up. I'm just trying to kind of proofread it and figure out the best way to say things, because I understand how to do it, but I have to figure out how to explain to someone else how to do it, and sometimes I have a hard time with that. So luckily this isn't the first pattern I've written, or I think I would have had a much harder time. But I'm trying to make sure all the numbers work out and doing a lot of testing and things like that. So hopefully that will be done very soon, and I will get those out to the testers, and that will be out sometime in March. All right, so that's the only thing that's on my needles right now that I've actively worked on this week that is not finished. And so let's transition on to set sail. I finished the Barley hat that I had, I think, half of last week when I recorded, and I don't have it anymore. It's actually in the car, getting ready to be donated with the other hats I knit, and I will explain why a little later. You'll see why in the From My Hale section. There's a bunch of fun stuff going on, or crazy stuff going on this week, and so that's that. And the other thing I finished are my Where's Wally socks. Ta-da! So these are done, and the yarn is Stray Cat Knits in the Where's Wally color. It is actually her candy cane colorway, but I had her dye it up after Christmas, obviously, and so I could use it for Where's Waldo socks. So these are finished and will be gifted to my husband soon, and that will also be explained why a little later. You're all sitting there going, what is she going to talk about? You'll find out. It's suspense, right? It's killing you. It's exciting. And I did those in my Cozy Crafting Where's Waldo bag, which I just think was perfect. That she made this bag and I found this yarn the same week, really, or similar times. So that was kind of fun. So those have been living in there. So that is done for now. And I must admit, that is the first vanilla sock I have ever knit. The first and maybe only. Well, the second one will be the Wenda socks that I knit for me. But they went really quickly. I can see why people do that a lot. I can't see myself doing that a lot, just because I like a little bit more interest. I did use my sock recipe that I will be publishing soon, next month, the one I was talking about earlier, just minus the stitch pattern up the leg, and or up the foot, not the leg. It's a cable that runs from your along the outside of your foot. So if this is your foot, it's your pinky, it kind of runs up the side. And but I followed the rounded toe in the bottom of the, here, I'll show you. So this is what my sock recipe looks like. The rounded toe, bottom of the heel gusset, and the deep pocket heel. So it is a short row heel still, but it does have this gusset, and it's not as much as like a gusset, like a heel flapping gusset. And I do all my socks toe up, so there's no picking up stitches. There's just knit two togethers and SSKs, so, or slip knits. And I really like the way this fits. My husband likes the way this fits, and yay, everybody wins. So I've included, I'll talk about the sock pattern when it comes out. I won't bore you with it now, but I did use these to kind of test the large size. The sock pattern will be in 3 sizes, I will say that. A small, medium, and a large. So that if you wanted to use it as a recipe, you could. Because what I do is I just take the stitch pattern from a sock. I think I talked about this before when I was talking about converting top down to toe up socks, is I just use the stitch pattern. I use my own toe, I use my own heel, and my own gusset, and I just use the stitch pattern on the top of the foot and then around the leg. And that's just kind of how I do my socks. So I wanted to, include a simple stitch pattern with the recipe, but also make it, clear enough where you could just use the toe and the gusset and the heel and not do the stitch pattern or do a different stitch pattern. So that is an option. All right. From the mainland, speaking of Abby of Cozy Crafting, who made my Waldo bag, and the bag that my sock design is living in. This is just a cozy crafting sort of week here. If you don't watch the Cozy Crafting podcast, you should. Abby is really sweet and knits beautiful things and has started dyeing yarn, actually, mostly for herself, but I think she may have hinted at there may be some exciting things coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. And she was one of the test knitters for my cowl design, and she dyed up this gorgeous skein of like grape purple. It's stunning, and I can't wait to see how it looks in my cowl design. I'm really excited. And so I was watching her podcast, and she was running a knit along in January, and it was stuff that you had started in 2014 but finished in January 2015. And I entered my husband's sweater, the black one, and I won. Ta-da! So thank you, Abby. And I won this beautiful necklace that she made. And it's this really old key. And I love these keys. They're just fascinating. When I was in Prague, we went to, actually it wasn't in Prague, it was right outside, or a little town outside Prague. We were in a little coffee shop, and I had to use the bathroom, and they gave me a key, and it was one of these keys to use the bathroom, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like, this is the actual bathroom key. So, I mean, not this one specifically, but one like this. And then also on here are some little things. There's like a little leafy looking silver thing, which is gorgeous, and then some little beads and a little jewel thing. So thank you, Abby. I know she sells these in her shop, Cozy Crafting on Etsy, so you should go check her out. And I love it. It hangs right in like a nice spot, and yay. And I also got, and get off the floor here, I got a set of needles, Chaogu needles, in size 00, which is fine because I don't have 00, so that was kind of nice. And like, ooh, I want a size that I don't have. And I love Chaogu needles, so I'm really excited. But I don't know if I've tried any of their red lace. I think these are red lace, or these are just stainless steel circular, but they're pointy. And they've got the clear cable. I've never tried the one with the clear cable. I've only tried the red one. So I'm excited to try these. And she sent this cute little card. I wanted to show you guys a little wiener dog on a bicycle. Really cute. So thank you, Abby. I'm really excited. And I know there's a set of stitch markers also coming. This is like prize of prizes. I mean, this thing is awesome. From Sue of the 2 Tangled Skeins in Canada. And they have a really fun podcast too. It's 3 ladies, and they're hysterical. You should watch them. They're really funny together. So that's a fun podcast to check out as well. And that was it. It was funny because when I just got this in the mail today. So when I recorded yesterday, I didn't have anything from the mainland. So now I was like, yay, I got something. So that was kind of fun. Alrighty. Let's see, what do we have next in the show notes? We have no flora and fauna this week because I'm going to do enough blabbing and from my Hale. So let's get on to the exciting thing that you all have been sitting on the edge of your seat, or maybe not, wondering what I was going to talk about. So I wanted to share a little bit about what's coming up. And I think I've shared a little bit before, I don't even remember when, that I'm a member of the Baha'i faith. and it's a New World religion, and it was founded in 1844, and the main principle is unity. We believe there's one God, and that all religions and peoples come from that God, and that we should, all get along and be part of one human family. And it's kind of how I feel about the knitting community. It feels very unified, and I think that's what really drew me to it initially. And one of the reasons I started podcasting, because I wanted to feel closer to all of you, and I really have gotten that out of podcasting. So thank you to all of you who have connected with me through this. I'm really excited about that. So the reason I tell you that is because this is a special time for Baha'is, and it's we have a unique calendar, and it's made up of 19 months of 19 days. And if you do the math on that, you will realize that it's not 365 days. There are 4 left over, or 5 on a leap year. And those are called the intercalary days, or the days outside of the calendar. And that's a time when we have our festival of Iyami-Ha, which basically translates to the days of Ha, or the days of 5, because it's a 5-day festival. It's 4 days, 5 during leap year. And so this is a time when we celebrate with hospitality and charity, and we give each other little gifts. And it's also a time when we spiritually prepare for the 19-day fast. So the last month of our year is the time right after Iyami-Ha, and it's a time of fasting where we don't eat or drink when the sun is up. And it's just a time of reflection and kind of preparing ourselves for our new year, which happens to be the first day of spring, which is really exciting. I'm really hoping spring comes soon. Not just because it means the fast is over, but also because it means that warmer temperatures are coming, and some sunshine and green grass would be really nice. So that's the reason for a lot of the things that are coming up. So as part of the charity and gift giving thing, I decided that I wanted to knit a bunch of hats to donate to one of the warming centers that's here in Evanston that takes care of a lot of, homeless or, just people in need. And I actually served at the soup kitchen yesterday, where we served, a nice hot meal to people who needed it. And that was really fun. And it's so nice to do that. Every few months, the Baha'i community does that, the one here, where I live. And it's so nice because they're so appreciative and they're so thankful, and that makes you feel really good. And so you kind of drag yourself there, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. And then you get there, and they're just so appreciative that you're there to help them, and that felt really good. So I'm glad I went. And I kind of came up with the idea to do a winter. I was going to originally try to knit a ton of hats, and then I realized I can't knit that many hats in that amount of time. And so I decided to reach out to my community and ask for donations of, hats and scarves and gloves and mittens and things like that. And so I'm organizing a clothing drive, or a winter accessories clothing drive, at our Iyami-Ha party this coming weekend, and then I will take those to the warming center so they can have them to give out to people who need them. So that's the reason for all the hats I've been knitting, and why that one's in the car, because I'd put it with the other things that I was going to donate, and then it got in the car, and it's too cold, and I didn't feel like going back out and getting it. So it's a lovely green color, and I think I posted pictures on my Ravelry page. I'm not sure. I will. And so next year I will start sooner knitting these hats. Maybe I'll start now knitting hats for next year. But so that's what the hats have been all about, and also what the pattern sale is all about. As part of the gift giving thing, I want to kind of give a gift to you and do a pattern sale. So during the 4 days of Iyami-Ha this year, which happened, it's usually the last 4 days in February. It includes the first day of March. So it's this year, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this week. So it's 26th, 27th, 28th, and the 1st. So during that time, I will be running a sale of my pattern. So I think I have the code already. Let me just look it up. And then I can tell you what it will be. So I looked up the pattern sale and realized I'm not going to have a code. It's just going to be everything's on sale. So then you don't have to remember a code or remember what to enter. So check into my Ravelry store and on Thursday through Sunday, and my patterns will all be on sale. So, and the cowl pattern will, cross your fingers, will be released by then. So I wanted to show you the cowl pattern so that you know what you can get. Well, I'll show you the hat and mitts first. So you may be familiar with the Triple Swell Hat, which came out in beginning of December. And it's one of the prizes, actually. The pattern for this is one of the prizes for the Fix It Along February. So that is the hat. And it's a slightly slouchy hat. And I really like it. It's got just enough slouch that I don't feel like it's giving me hat hair, but it's not too slouchy where it's not super fussy. I feel like some slouchy hats I have to like fuss with them, whereas this I just kind of like pull on, kind of, you know, pull the back down and it's ready to go. So I'm really excited with how that turned out. I think every time I wear it, I'm like, I knit this, I designed this, it turned out well. I impressed myself, I must admit. And these are the Twisted Sand mitts that were released at the same time as the hat. And they've got a nice textured pattern on them. And they come up really high on your hand, which I really enjoy because I can tuck my fingers in or just have them there, you know, and tuck them in my pocket like that. And that's been really nice. And also if you need a little bit more wiggle room here, you can turn them down. Ta-da! So, I mean, you can also knit them shorter or knit them as a full mitten if you'd like. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you not to mattify the pattern. So, these are these, and these are all knit out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Dramaturg, and these are in the Poseidon colorway. And the cowl, ta-da! This is the Waves on the Sand Cowl, and you can wear it either way. You can wear it with the Triple Swell pattern up, or you can wear it with the Twisted Sand pattern up. I've been wearing it like this because it's a little warmer. This is very kind of dense, but you know, as it gets warmer, like in the 20s, I love how 20s is warm now. You know, I might wear it with this up because it's a little more breathable. So I will put it on to show you. Ta-da! And you just wear it like this. And sometimes I like tuck it in my coat, kind of like warmth. But you can also stretch it out and wear it a little more as like a accessory rather than a piece for warmth. So I designed it to kind of be functional and fashionable. So that is the Waves on the Sand cowl. And I included instructions. I knit mine with a little bit more than a skein. I think I have a little bit left over from, I had 2 skeins for these, and then I started this with the rest of the second skein, and then I realized I wasn't going to have enough, and so I got a 3rd skein, and so this is like 2.5 skeins maybe for this total thing. You might be able to get these out of 1 skein, and this out of a 2nd skein. This you can totally do with 1 skein if you wanted, or a little over a skein. I included instructions for if you have a set amount of yardage, if you weigh it in the beginning, before you start this transition section right here, I included instructions of like, if you're worried about yarn usage, you know, stop when you've got this much percent used up or left or whatever. I can't remember how I did it. And So there is options for that. I also included options for, casting on more or less stitches, depending on what you would like, or making a taller or shorter cowl. So there's lots of options in the pattern for you to kind of customize it how you would like it, or, what's the most useful to you. And yeah, one of my testers actually cast on more, another repeat, and so hers hangs a little lower. And I really like how that turned out. And another one of my testers knit it with a little lighter of a yarn, and it's a little more drapey. And I really like how that turned out. And I haven't seen the third one yet. She just finished, so I'm really excited to see how hers turned out. So I guess that's it about the cowl. I don't have a ton to say about it. It did not start out looking like this. It started out looking very, very different. And I decided to scrap that whole design and went with this instead. And I'm really happy I did. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I've been wearing it a lot over the last few days, and it's been really nice. I really, it's functional, but it looks nice, and ta-da! And it's got lots of options. That's the other thing I like in the pattern. I wanted to include lots of options so you can, kind of customize it. I mean, it's kind of the similar thing to the socks. The socks are a little bit more of a recipe. They are a full-fledged pattern, but you could use it as a recipe, whereas this is, it just got lots of options. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to be done there. Stop rambling. All right, well, with that, I will let you all go, and I hope you have a great week, and if you have any comments, you can post them on YouTube or in the Ravelry group, or you can message me directly on Ravelry. Any way you want to contact me, it's fine. You can also reach me at lucia@pearlofthepacific.info. That's my email address. Although I don't check it as often as I probably should, so that's not the greatest way to get in touch with me. But all right, I will let you all go. Have a great week, and look out for the pattern sale that's coming up starting Thursday. And bye.